In this video, we will describe performance analytics targets and thresholds and show you how to create both. In the previous videos in our series, Create Your First Dashboard and Create Your First Breakdown Dashboard, we showed you how to create dashboards with widgets that display different indicators. Now we're going to look at how to set up a target and a threshold for an indicator. Targets are predefined values that allow you to measure progress towards a goal. Thresholds provide advanced warning when a particular indicator is approaching a specific target, whether that target is desirable or not. For example, if a target of 100 is set for the maximum number of open incidents, a threshold can be set at 90 to alert users that the target is about to be hit. Let's take a look at setting up these values in the system for a specific indicator. Here, we want to set a target for this indicator, which shows us the number of open HR cases. You can add a target in the Targets page or within a scorecard. Let's create our first target in the Targets page. We first need to select the indicator for this target. You can also specify a breakdown and time series to further refine the data that we set the target for. But in this example, we want to set the target for all open HR cases. You can also select a color scheme. Target color schemes provide a visualization of the position of the indicator score with regard to its target. To edit these values, you can either edit the existing scheme or add a new one in the Target Color Schemes page. And finally, if you're not ready to activate the target, you can deselect the active checkbox. For our example, we want the target to be active right away, so we'll leave the checkbox selected. After we create the target, we need to go back into the target properties and set one or more target values. Here, we'll add a target of 500, starting 3 weeks prior to the current date, so we can see how the target appears in the scorecard over time. Back in the dashboard, we can see the target line within the indicator widget. When we roll over the chart, we can see the individual scores and the target value. When we click on an individual score, the scorecard displays. The target displays, along with the calculation of the gap between this score and the target. Now let's add a threshold to the same indicator, so users will be notified when the threshold is breached. We want to set the threshold to any number less than 450, which is 10% below the desired target, so we'll set the condition to less than 450. Finally, we can specify whether we want comments to be automatically entered in the scorecard if the threshold is met. We can also create the threshold but make it inactive, but we'll make the threshold active in our example. After we create the threshold, we need to add the users we wish to be notified when the threshold is met. After selecting the users and adding them to the threshold, let's return to the dashboard to see the threshold within a scorecard. And here's the threshold we just added. Now let's look at another way to add targets and thresholds to indicators. You can also add or change a target, as well as a threshold, right in the scorecard. In our example, the HR team has really worked at reducing the number of open HR cases. We can see the target has really helped drive the desired behavior. By clicking on the target icon, we can set a new target for open HR cases to continue the HR case backlog reduction. We can also set a threshold from the scorecard. We can set the threshold to notify when the score hits an all-time high, all-time low, or less or more than a given value. In our example, we set a target of 300, and we want to know if the score goes under 270, which is 10% less than our target. So we'll set the threshold to less than 270. And here's the threshold that we just set right in the scorecard. These targets and thresholds are critical in helping people understand what they should be working on. They also help process owners drive the right behavior across the organization. Use them wisely to get the results you are looking for. For more information, please consult our product documentation or knowledge base, or ask a question in the ServiceNow community.